guys, Ginger Cook here with a wonderful acrylic painting Monday. Wow, how fun. We want to welcome everybody to our YouTube show. We think this is going to be a fun acrylic lesson on how to paint cherries in a basket, but we're going to be doing it on a canvas board that's been covered with absorbent ground. So this is kind of a different twist. If you watched our marathon paint-a-thon last Friday, where we started at 3:30 and I finished at 1:30. I mean, tell you, that was the thing. We did like 13 paintings. This is the one we didn't quite finish. It's still up in our auction, gingercookauction.com. Our auction closes on the Wednesday.
Wednesday the 18th.
Wednesday evening. But anyway, we wanted to get this done. So, and some of you have great faith, have even put a bid on it, not having any idea what I was going to do with it. And
we appreciate that.
We appreciate that. So thank you very much. While I'm chatting, I want to take a moment to welcome all our moderators and, of course, John Little, my significant other in the command chair. Do you want to just give you a quick face up? Wave to the fans, John.
Wave to the fans. Wait a minute. Here we go.
You wave to the fans, John. And now,
hey, everyone. Here I am. Hey, wait. I can turn my lights on.
Oh, you have lights? Oh, you have lights? Can you make them go fancy colors?
Look at them.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah, we're moving up, people.
This is the controller for the show. How cool is that, right? And
the controller. That's what I am now. I'm the controller.
Yeah, he is. He's a controller. So all right. And then I'm gonna, of course, wave, and then we're gonna come right back down to the table here where I can show you my reference photo. I liked it because it was very simple. It had some cherries, a basket, and of course we've got a Protone canvas. That's it's a panel. This is actually, a lot of times when you see canvas board, it's cardboard. This is actually little pieces of masonite that have been treated and then covered with canvas, and then treated with a couple of coats more of gesso and primer. So these are really, really nice to paint on. And then we also took and covered it with absorbent ground. And the other one that we did on our show on Friday was that we had the horse was painted on. And you'll notice that what happens is the difference between, say, they're painting like this with acrylics and, say, one of these other ones that we've done in, like here was the barn with the red barn with the snow, is that you see one has more of a watercolor effect look, even though you're using your acrylics. But the nice thing about it is you can come back and add white. So it gives you the best of both worlds. So it's a very good thing to know how to use. And I'm going to show you a couple other paintings we've done later. But anyway, that's what these are little 6x8 canvases. And why I'm tracing this on, and you're going to say, well, where are the reference for this? It will be in our acrylic painting with gingercook.com. Probably give it till tomorrow, and it'll be up then. I think, John, don't you?
Oh, should be.
Should be up by then. We certainly hope so. And
we can only hope for the best.
God willing, the creek don't rise, kind of
there
thing,
you
right?
Go.
Can't promise anything these days, can you?
No.
So while I am taking a moment to use the transfer paper to
Sorrel transfer paper.
It's called Sorrel. Cinnamon calls it Sorrel or something, right?
Yeah.
That's my daughter Cinnamon, and we always have a joke about that. Should really ask the company how we could very easily be saying it wrong.
Oh, absolutely. And knowing us, we probably are.
And yeah, that's Mrs. Magoo over here and Mr. Magoo, we can certainly we can say it.
We're using red this time,
wrong, right?
How often do we use red?
Yeah, this is the red transfer paper, and I'm going to just put it under here like that.
Very seldom do we use red.
Yeah, very seldom. And I want to take I just want to make sure that it's going to mark nicely. And so here's where my, well, nothing happened there. Go ahead, laugh, John.
I was laughing. The stuffy staff cracked a joke. That's all.
Yeah, John thinks I'm funny, but that's all right. That's all right, you guys. So while I'm doing this, we have a new moderator, both on our Facebook page.
Hey, we would like to welcome Lady Liz C2.
Lady Liz C2, absolutely. So welcome, Liz. well, we had the opportunity to meet Liz
On one of our journeys.
On one of our journeys, and had a nice time visiting with her. She has the fortunate position of having some retirement, and she thought it might be nice to be a moderator. So she's a moderator, not just on our, because it looked really cool, didn't it, to be a moderator? So she thought that would be fun, and
Little does she know.
So far, she thinks it's fun, but she hasn't done it very long, a couple of days, right? So we hope everybody thinks it's fun. And anyway, we very much appreciate her doing that. And of course, we want to shout out to our other moderators.
And we have Lady Liz Original.
Lady Liz Original, yes.
Lady Steffi, Luann, Judy, and I think Lynn is out because she's out of internet at the moment.
Well, isn't that funny? I remember when
internet?
they were trying to get you to sign up for the internet, and they were selling AOL in the malls. They had a little table set up, and they were selling it. And I'm thinking, that's just another thing to annoy me. Why on earth would I want that? My older brother, who's like since passed away, he's like 10 years older, goes, "This is the greatest ever." Going, for who? Just seems like a lot more work. Now, we're practically want to be wet wired in, you know what I mean? Here, take my risk. If somebody doesn't want the shot, but, offer them the internet in their arm and they're there, right? Because we've all gotten so used to it. And when the internet goes down, oh, good grief.
You might have just cut off our arm.
And can you imagine, right frankly, it was bad enough to go through 2020. Can you imagine going through it without Amazon and the internet? Right?
Oh, I cannot imagine that.
I pointed that out to my daughter the other day when she was making some comments about stuff. I said, yeah, but how would you like to try to do last year without the internet? And what, so, I mean, just, you don't think about stuff like that until, there's a hurricane. Even when there's a hurricane or something, it's coming back on. Unless, you think you do, right?
You hope you do.
You hope you do, right? But anyway, I'm talking to you and trying to be focus a little bit on this.
Same time.
Yeah, focusing a little bit on this. I don't think I really need to draw these stems in. I'm pretty sure I can figure out where cherry stems go. What do you think?
On the top of the cherry?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I've been and also in preparation for this video, John will tell you I've been eating cherries all month. I wanted to really feel the experience of the cherries, understand the cherries, and be one with the cherries. And I had to just eat cherries, right? In fact, he actually got up late at night and got me more cherries. That's so nice. Last year, there were no cherries. I guess nobody was out there picking them, but they don't even pick them anymore. I think they just shake the tree. But anyway, I didn't get any last year, so I'm so happy to tell you we got some this year. All right, so I feel pretty good about our transfer. Don't you guys think so? Yeah, pretty good about that. Yeah,
so.
I think I can probably take the rest.
Absolutely.
And you see, there it is. You can use the thing about the sorrel. You can use it over and over again. It really doesn't. It's very nice, and sometimes it's just nice to have the outline. Somebody wrote the other day, and they made a comment. She says, "This is my painting, and I did it freehand." That's good. Not necessarily unless you're perfect art, doing it perfectly. Well, okay, you did it freehand. Perhaps gridding it might have been more helpful, right? Or it's okay. The thing of it is that, when you cook dinner, you don't say, well, I just used the campfire. I put it in the oven. And then some people thought the microwave was cheating. It's not cheating here, people. It's technology. Van Gogh felt he was a terrible drawer, couldn't freehand anything of his life depended on it. And he constructed a little grid made out of metal, and he would set it in front of people when he did their portraits, and he took it in the landscape. Gridding has been around forever. If you look at the history of art, there's very little freehanding done here. And even the chapel, if you have the Sistine Chapel, Michelangelo had these things all drawn out on paper, and then he used a little wheel that had spikes in it that he could roll it around and then make holes in the paper, and then took that chalk and a soft chamois and punch the chalk, chamois, punch the chalk through, so he had a total outline of what he was painting. He just wasn't freehanding it there on the ceiling, my friends. So just saying. So doesn't matter.
So don't feel you have to.
Don't feel like you have to freehand. You know, the funny thing is, the more you do this, the better you'll get at drawing, because drawing isn't so much about that. You all learned to draw when you learned handwriting. What you're learning now is how to see. Yeah, how to see. Okay, so what do we got here? Well, we have our canvas board, we have the cherries, we have the outline of this.
Beautiful job.
When you're using absorbent ground, you've got to do it a little differently. In acrylic painting, you go from dark to light. But when you're doing something like absorbent ground, you want to go from a light to, let's see, I want a bigger brush. You want to go from light to dark.
More like a watercolor.
More the way you do watercolor. So I'm going to take a little bit of water up here on my brush. It's clean. I'm going to come around here like that, and I'm going to add a little bit of water on this.
Now again, for those that are showing up a little late, we are painting on a Pro-Tone 6x8 canvas board, and we have absorbent ground that I applied on it a few days ago.
Now, what you want to keep in mind is when you're adding the water, if it's real shiny, that's not the time to paint on it. Let it soak in a bit. Okay, just the way you would if you were doing it on paper. Okay. Now, what I want to do is make sort of a turquoise background. I'm going to take a little bit of phthalo green and phthalo blue, and let's just put it on here like that. See, like that. I'm going to take a little phthalo green. See how it's just very gently kind of absorbing in, and it has that sort of soft watercolor effect. Phthalo green really is almost a blue color. To me, it's like a sea color. If you get too much paint, you don't want to do that. We're just trying to just put this on like that. Very carefully come around our cherries. Probably a little bit too much water, a little more than I wanted, but that's all right. We'll put this over here. Let's see, a little bit of water. There we go. I don't want purple, so let's just get right out of that. Take a little bit of green here. Here we go. And a little bit of phthalo blue. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to just come around here like that, and maybe I'll take a little zinc white. I want to lighten this up a bit.
I have 3 layers of absorbent ground on this particular board. You apply it very thinly. I'll be doing a video on it as soon as I get a chance. It's easy to apply.
So I'm going to come around here like this. Now I don't have any water down here, and you kind of see the difference. I'm just going to add just a little bit of water right here. Okay. So you can kind of come and kind of just, this is sort of, for those of you who are having trouble blending, this is kind of a nice effect, isn't it? And you can add, kind of just tap in some different, maybe stronger colors in places. And it'll dry lighter, so I'll probably go over this again a couple times. If I wanted a little bit more turquoise, I might take some yellow and phthalo blue, maybe a little white. Well, that had purple in it. Come over here and do this. Phthalo blue. Hey, let's try this again. This is phthalo blue. And yellow. That's a little too green, a little bit of white. That's sort of a pretty color, right? Oh, this thing. There. I mean, maybe I want some sort of stronger color in here that's like that. So now we're just going to let that dry.
Which won't take long.
But it does give it sort of an interesting background. Now the bottom part is I want a little bit more in the purples. So I'm not going to wet it this time. I'm just going to show you what it's like when you don't wet it. I'm just going to come under here like this. Maybe add a little tiny bit of this pink color. That is the rose, luminescent rose color. Luminous rose from Holbein. Okay. Maybe come in here like that.
Gigi's making a comment here.
Yeah.
I thought watering down acrylic more than 50% wasn't recommended because it reduces adherent to the surface.
Yeah, but this is why you're using absorbent ground, because it's
Absorbent ground, you're
you're
painting with the pigment.
You're painting with the pigment. It's going into the pigment.
And it's just staining it.
You're just staining
like watercolor.
Yeah, you're staining it. Okay, so absolutely, you're staining it. So, but in general, that's why you use sort of glazing medium, but you wouldn't want to do that on this because the glazing medium would fill up the acrylics. And, let's see, let's put a little bit of blue here. What a little bit of this is phthalo right here. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit of blue here. A little blue-green color. And remember, you can go over this with layers. It takes a while, but you can go over this with layers too. And you want a little bit of the, gonna get that off my, let's take a little bit of phthalo blue here. Just a little bit down in here. See? Ooh, see how that's too much. See how strong that color is?
That's very strong.
So I'm going to just come up here like that and just melt that together. Very similar to how you might do watercolors. And then maybe I want some of this blue shadow color. And I can add that later, but I might want a blue shadow color where the cherries are too. So, all right, so we're just going to sort of melt this together like that. There we go. I like it. All right, so that's probably the most I'm going to do here. And at this point, I can still lift it. Now, this is important. When you want to lift it, suppose I wanted to lift a little bit of this off of here. Look at that. Take the water, rinse, wipe, swipe. And
just like watercolor.
Just like watercolor. Well, you can do this with any kind of acrylics, too. If it hasn't dried yet, you can lift it right off. So suppose I wanted something a little lighter right here in the front. And put a little water there and then just wipe it and just sort of soak it up, right? So you can't really mess it up too much, okay?
Can't mess it up too much.
All right, so that can be drying, yeah? That can be drying, and I'm going to take a smaller brush, and again, I'm going to start with probably my yellow oxide. I'm going to come around here like this, and I'm just going to paint this in here like this. And I'm just, so what we're getting is you're getting the sort of watercolor effect background. You can combine the two techniques and you get and what you end up with is a really interesting painting. I hope so. End up with a really interesting painting because of all these effects. Now let's take a little bit of white and yellow oxide and yellow. Let's say I want to put this up here. Let's make this a little lighter. Top of the basket. And then over the top, let's get this handle. Okay, so we're going to say there's our handle.
Hey, we'd like to thank Andrew for the donation that came in. And Andrew, I'm glad to see you're still with us.
Oh, yeah, they've been saying terrible things on the news, just even today about Haiti. So, Andrew, thank you very much. And everybody's been worried. And so I'm glad you're okay.
He sent that in saying, I'm thinking of you, just got internet back, excited for the show.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Last Friday, we did this really cool marathon picture.
Incident. 10 hours.
Yeah, I made it till like 1:30 in the morning. It was really cool. One thing we taking a little bit of burnt sienna. Okay, just putting a little shadow on here like that. All right. Now, this is our reference photo we're using for those of you who came in late. This is Absorbent Ground. It's sold by Golden. They're the only people I know that make it. And what it does is you put it on your canvas, and I've seen this done on huge canvases too. This is for Eric, who paints big, and Andrew, who paints big, and Tara Kilroy that paints big, and there's a few of you out there that Janie Honch that paints big. You can put this on a large canvas, several coats, and then the effect you can get with your backgrounds, and then you just go ahead and paint it like a regular acrylic painting. And if you want it to quit absorbing, you can just add a little GAC 100 or something. You can seal it, and then it acts like a regular canvas. So you can have this sort of three-dimensional effect. I mean, the sky's the limit to how cool you can make something like this, because, and particularly you abstract artists, I'm going to tell you, if you can combine the watercolor effect and all this running paint with the thick palette knife, people have no clue how you did it. We're just sharing the secrets here, friends. We are sharing.
Don't tell
secrets.
Anybody though.
We're sharing the secrets. So, like for instance, this was, for those of you who were new, this was a horse we did on Friday, and done, you see, in the same way. You see that with the absorbent ground, but we did the whole horse more like a watercolor effect, right? But we're going to do sort of a combination of on here, and which is perfect, right? Perfect.
Absolutely.
So this is still kind of wet. See that? I can touch it and see little fingers come out wet. Okay.
Still damp.
So that's all right.
Now, one thing, when I started varnishing the 6x8s for the auction, the absorbent ground one absorbed all the varnish on the first coat. If you look at it, you can barely see what's been varnished. So it's going to take a lot more coats to get that thing sealed completely. Just something to keep in mind as you're painting and varnishing. So
we're going to put a little of this background color here, like that, around the cherries, like that. Using a little angle brush here, like that. There you go. And I want something pretty. I think I'll take a little tiny bit of, it's ultramarine blue, and I'm going to just take a little bit of water with that. And I want back here, I want I'm going to put that color right here, in here in our little shadow color. Okay. Maybe I want a little more of a shadow color. Remember, it's still a little damp, so I can add to this if I want. See. And again, when you're, well, acrylics dry darker. When you're doing anything like this, it tends to dry lighter. That's the other thing to keep in mind when you're painting something like this. We know that I want a little bit of a shadow in here next to this, these cherries. And you see, that would be a little stronger than I'd want. So I just wipe the brush off and put a little more water with that, and just see how I can just sort of, what I'm doing is just like pouring something on a piece of cloth. It's gonna spread out and fuzz out a little bit. See, so because you on shadows, this is something people on shadows. It's nice to have your shadows be they're kind of darker, and then as they go away from whatever the shadow is, then they're they get the edges are softer. Does that make sense? You can even take your finger here. See, the edges are a little softer. So that's just something you can do. And I like a little bit of this probably a little of the phthalo blue color. Put a little of the phthalo blue color, and you can layer too. You can layer in this. Ooh, way too much paint. See that? So let's take a bigger brush and soften that. That is way too much paint. You can just, there you go, see? You can soften it a little bit. And again, you can experiment with this. Take a little, don't make this the one that has to be so perfect for you. See what it does. Get used to the medium. You know, have fun with I guess that's what I would tell you, is that have fun with the medium. You know, here's a little bit of pink, you know, see, because like I say, you can layer this really a lot. And
we'd like to thank Donna for the donation that came in through the YouTube Super Chat.
Donna, thank you very much. You know, those of you who are, if you're new to the channel and may not know this, John started doing a new thing this year. We so appreciate the donations that have come in. And the people that, you know, every 3 months, we are giving away three paintings. And I'll just move this up there and let this dry for a second. The 3 paintings. And to the people that have donated, they have a chance. You're in like a drawing, but just if you've done it, for every $100 that's been donated, you have 1 chance in the drawings. So, and you have like 3 months. So if you just, you know, done $10 here and 25 here, eventually it all adds up, and then you're in the drawing. And it's you have till the end of the month to be in this drawing. And the first painting, the first person's name that we draw from that will
be able to pick from the three.
We'll be able to pick from the three. And then here's the next one is this, guys, remember this painting, the gal with the looking out to sea with the suitcase. I think that's kind of neat, you know. And then and we've got the apple blossoms too, which I really like. And it's a very sweet painting. So those are the three. I wanted to let you know that. John, I'm going to hit this with a hairdryer. Would you like to do a drawing? We have to do a drawing right now for those of you who participated in commenting for our bird hop. Cinnamon did her drawings for the limited. There's a limited edition print for each picture. So we got to draw 3. So we said she did hers on Saturday. We're doing hers today. So John,
we're doing ours today.
We're doing ours today. That's what I said. I didn't say that.
No.
Well, I got confused. We're doing ours. Is that easy to find for you, John? Can you find those easy?
My queen, whatever you wish. I'm
going to just take
serve.
a moment and dry this while you're doing that, right?
All right.
Maybe just draw for one, and then I'll go back.
Right.
Going,
right. All right. Let me bring that over here. We use the YouTube random comment picker. And we want to go to the bird hop. I want to do the first bird hop. I don't know which one was first. 2, 3, must be, that's 6. So this is the first one. So I got to get the link from this bird hop. Dismiss that. Stop that. Copy that. We'll come back to the random picker. We'll put that in here. And we're going to filter out the duplicates, include the replies, and it's going to be based on hashtag bird hop. And spelling does not count, but you have to have what we have. So is how many entries we have for that. We have 131.
Wow.
That's excellent. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Wow.
Glad you mentioned
That's cool. Yeah, 131. That's pretty neat, you guys, right?
Now let's go ahead and see who the winner is. Now you are getting a
bird's eye view, right, of how we're drawing this. But you're getting a limited edition print of this painting.
You have 10 days to tell us that you are the recipient.
Yes.
Artsy Sister. So I haven't seen Artsy Sister out there today. But
Okay.
let me grab that so I don't forget.
Artsy Sister, congratulations.
She has the
Artsy,
first
that's
one.
a hard thing to say. Artsy Sister.
Artsy Sister.
I've got a
I
new
didn't
word.
have a problem saying
I've got
it.
a new word, you guys. Want to hear my new word?
Sure. Oh,
All right. So I'm always telling everybody art hugs, right? But then I realized that when you hug somebody, sometimes you hug somebody because they're sad, and sometimes you hug somebody with great joy. So my new thing is happy art hugs, and the short version of that is ha. H-A-N. Ha. Ha ha. Happy art hugs.
Ha,
Right?
ha, ha, ha.
Like it? Ha ha. So, all right, I'm going to keep painting on this. And
Let me bring you back.
we're going to start with some of our lighter colors here. So I think I'll probably start with Cat.
Artsy
Cherries.
Sister, you have 10 days to notify us on the contact us on acrylic painting with gingercook.com.
Yeah.
Does the absorbent crown ever actually cure? Yeah, it fully dries.
Sure, of course it dries.
Don't be silly. Oh, you
Yeah,
can
in
silly.
fact, let me just show you just right now. Let me just show you. Here's one of our Wave and Water Masterclass.
Oh, here, let me back out
paintings.
after I just zoomed in.
Yeah, zoomed in. Here's our Wave and Water Masterclass painting. It was all done with Absorbent Ground except for the people on the boat and the boat itself. You see that? But all the waves and everything was done with Absorbent Ground. And look at the great blending effect you get. And this was originally the inspiration for this was from an old dead guy, the American artist that lived, over 100 years ago. But so if you're in the Wave and Water Masterclass in our academy, you want to try Absorbent Ground. This is we show you how I put it on and everything. This is
Now, that's on a stretch canvas.
that's on a stretch canvas, right? And it's lovely. Okay. And then we did one for YouTube with the tulips. It was the Saison tulips on a very long, like 10 by 20 canvas. And we did that one.
We sold that painting though.
And we sold the paintings. I can't show it to you, but
you can go to YouTube and watch it.
But you can go to
I think
YouTube and watch it.
Judy had put the link up there earlier, so it's in the comments somewhere.
Yeah, huh? So we're gonna get our cherries in here like that. We'll just so we're gonna go ahead and just put them in. You know, this is it's really almost counterintuitive to how, of course, how I paint. You watched me when I painted, well, like for instance, the hydrangeas, and we just started with great big blocks of paint and dark browns and stuff, and eventually brought it up till you could see it, yeah. And let's see, I want a little bit of magenta for back in here. This is a little darker area here. Just put that back in here like that. Let's come in here like this with our basket. Kind of that. That's something we could do.
What red are you using there, my love?
That was just once. This is magenta.
The red that you did the cherry
This
with.
last one I just used was magenta, and and like I say, we'll layer it over. And then I'm using sort of cad red here, and this was, well, it's got a little magenta on it, but.
So you're using the cad red medium for your cherries right now?
For my cherries right now. I'm just using those. I need to get them red somehow, right? So we're gonna go ahead and you'll see it really wants to absorb. If you've ever painted on paper, you know how it wants to absorb, right? So we're gonna go ahead and paint this on here. Just get it started. That's all we're doing. Just getting it started. I have to say that they have a new way. I know when I was a kid, you got cherries. Well, not even that long ago. Somebody had cherries. They didn't. The store had them for like 2-3 weeks at the most, and they've had them for a couple months now, haven't they, John? And before we ever got
about
to
6
them.
weeks, yeah. Which I'm surprised.
I want this one a little bit darker, changing color with magenta. You need to kind of know where you're going. So there's a little red here on this one. I know these are all going to be pretty dark, and I'm going to just.
When you have a chance, can you show that absorbent ground container again?
Yeah, I will, because the Golden is the only one that makes it, and it's really neat stuff. They make something else. They make one for pastels too, for people that want to, paint and paint pastels. But this is great stuff. All right, so we've sort of got something. So this is what I would call our underpainting. So you're not overly whelmed by that. And understanding that your painting goes through kind of an ugly stage is important, yes? So
you just kind of have to grin and bear it.
This is one of the reasons we dried this up here, because I want to just make this a little wider here at the top of this. And I'm just going to go ahead and paint this for the most part. Let's take a little bit of this. This is this color is a marigold, which is some. Gotta mix that with a bit of red marigold. This was a color a lot of you said you liked, and just maybe more marigold here. Okay, I'm just gonna make that a little darker in here. Okay, there we go. And I want to be this a little bit golder here, and a little bit wider. Now just work on the basket a bit. So can I answer some nifty questions, John? Do we have any nifty questions?
Nifty questions?
Yeah, do we have any nifty questions I can answer?
No.
No?
This is the last one. What can you show the absorbent ground container?
Oh yeah, I can do that too. I'm empowered to do that. So let's see, we're just gonna get that in, and so like sometimes it's fun to see what you can do, because it's so soft. Once it's like painting on velvet, you know that? A little bit of white here in this angle brush. Just
look, Catherine would like to know how many cookies is this one?
Well, I don't think it's very many cookies, Catherine. I think it's probably
1.5. It's probably 1 cookie with some milk. You're tracing it on. You're doing your spheres.
Yeah, you can just
fairly simple one.
Yeah, I think so. We're just gonna, we're gonna just play with the lights and darks. One thing about it, let's take a little magenta and dazzling purple. And let's get some of these. This is it's kind of goes out like a little triangle here, like that, okay? You'll see when you're seeing how I'm doing the basket weave. These little lines are almost like little skinny triangles, almost scarf shaped. Okay. And and then we're going to put in some of the basket weave back in here. And then I want this darker right there. I'm going to say that that's darker right there. And then I want the difference between doing a watercolor and acrylic is that you can, there's a little bit of purple and magenta. The difference between doing a watercolor and an acrylic painting is that you have all the ability to add your darks and lights. So even though we sort of started out more like a watercolor paper, I'll still probably keep a fallback on here of my darks. So let's see, let's just get my picture up here. You kind of see the picture I'm working on, right? So
they got it. It's on the screen now.
Yeah, but I can see it too. You can see
that's true. You can't see it now.
I can see it now too, and as you can see, this is my sheet right here where I'm gonna just say.
Hey, we'd like to thank Eric for the donation that came through Super Chat. My mom is a 2-time blue ribbon winner of her cherry pie. Definitely going to get some Absorbent Ground.
Wow. Well, she would probably love this then. Yeah, Eric, this is the kind of, every once in a while, we've had it for years. It's funny, you can become sort of like an art collector of stuff. That's a nice way of putting, kind of hoarding, where you just, you want, you're going to want some stuff, and so you, you keep, go, this looks like it would be good art supplies, and these would be good. And we try not to there's all kinds of stuff we could show you how to use, right? But we try to be pretty responsible. And I really personally believe this is one of those things that you're more apt to use than, say, another thing. Okay, so let's take a little bit of red here. So notice that now I'm going into the reds, because I don't really want, I want my cherries to be, there you go. So I'm going to get into this red here, not the crimson. Okay, and I'm just going to paint this one darker, and this one.
Shirley's asking, how long should you let it dry between layers of the absorbent ground? I put it in front of a fan for about 15-20 minutes. It dries pretty quick. But the next layers, after the first layers, the next layer is really dry. You have to plop it on and really smush it around quickly because it absorbs right in.
What I love about it is that you see how it's almost, when I'm overlapping the reds here, do you see how I can, it just all sort of goes into one cherry after another. See how it's doing that? Okay. So I like how the, I like the feeling of it, and I really like the idea of the, the way, the contradiction, I guess, of the watercolor effect with the more acrylic painting style of the cherries.
Yeah.
So
the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it gives you something to think about, and there's nothing written in stone. It's just starting to come together now. You guys are thinking a little bit more, huh, about how it might be coming together. And again, we're still layering.
How long do you, wait a minute. Wait. How long do you wait before you actually paint on it after you put on the absorbent ground? I do 24 hours.
Yeah, that's what the Golden website recommends.
Yeah, they recommend 24 hours.
And which you know, it's another one of those things where it requires some forethought. You know, a little planning. There's none of
Yeah,
this.
you can't just say, "Oh, I think I'll go do this," and not have it ready.
But that you could have, but you could do several canvases at once. Well, ultramarine blue and magenta is a good cherry color.
Does Ginger have any trouble with the wet paint lifting off paint under wet paint when using absorbent ground?
No.
No, it goes right in, and
it's absorbing it, friends.
It absorbs it. Now, when she dries it, because if she wants to lay on top of it and not blend in with it, you're going to dry it, and it won't blend in, it won't lift off again, because it's acrylic.
It's acrylic, so
it's not watercolor.
Yeah, so it's like watercolor also will constantly lift. This won't. So if you want a real watercolor effect, it's important to not overwork it. Does that make sense? And one of the things about cherries, I did a pack or personal art coaching for one of our Academy members today, and she was doing cherries from one of the small tutorials we have on cherries. And, you know, cherries have a definite shape to them. They're almost, you see it's almost square on top. Do you see that right there?
No, they don't.
You see it's square on top, and you see here. So they're not just round balls like oranges. So you've got to think about the shapes of them, right? And they generally have like a darker center. They're going to have a place where it's light. So now, for instance, I've got this. I want a little bit of white right there, right? It's still going to show, right? I can put the thing about this is you can put the white back, which you cannot do on you know, normal, you know, cherries. You can put your
little highlights.
You can put your highlights, right?
Oh, here's a good question for you, my queenness.
Yeah.
Since members can share oil paintings of Ginger toots, can they share watercolor paintings of Ginger's toots? Ooh.
We have
We're not a watercolor
We're not
group.
a club. We've said no because we're not a watercolor club.
But we do allow oil.
We do allow oil. Well, I don't know. Let's think about that. That'd be something to be interesting to. I'll have to talk to our mods there. See what our mods think. They're the ones that,
you want to chime in on that one?
What do you mods think?
You're kind of introducing watercolor effect. And maybe some people like to try that with acrylics if they see a watercolor.
And then try to do it with the watercolor effect. Well, I guess if it's our toots, you know, let's see what the guys think. What do you guys think?
That would be the ladies.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said.
No, you said the guys. You're talking about my stuffy staff.
No.
Well, you would be.
I'm not unclear about your stuffy staff, but okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I worry about you, but I'm pretty clear about them.
Uh-huh. Will absorbent ground still work if on longer for a year with paint on it already? Tammy? Okay, let me just see if I can follow this. You put absorbent ground on a canvas. You put a little bit of paint on it, but you didn't finish it. Will absorbent ground still be absorbent? Yes. Because you haven't sealed it yet. It's no different than watercolor paper. So you can do up a batch of canvases sometimes, so you're always ready if you want to do this effect.
Yeah, you could do a few at once.
Yep. Like when I did these, I did 6 of them, knowing that the queen would enjoy this method.
Yeah, right?
And to show you guys something different.
Notice I'm putting some of this, this was our favorite, this luminous rose from Holbein. That's a color you can't mix. And on some of these, I'm putting just a little zinc white with it too. A little bit of luminous rose and maybe a little bit of red with it. Because this is where I want the layer to come. This is where I'm going to start shaping up my cherries, which is kind of neat because you've got. Let's see. Let's bring that around here like this. So you see, they're really. It's kind of honestly, I think it's such a neat effect. Here we go. Here's a little more of that pink color. Let's make this a little lighter. That luminous rose color. See what I'm doing here like that? Just lighten that up. Nice. And then there's another color I like too. This is see, this one I find myself using a lot these days. Is that bat orange if I have any out. And I should have some in this pile of stuff over here.
Pile of stuff.
There's the cadmium. I had that out, easy to find it. Well, if I don't have it, I'm not going to go look for it. I'll just pick something that's like that. So you see, I'm getting there, you guys, with my picture, right? Getting there. So now, what I want to do now, John's going to draw for another one of the prints, and I'm going to dry this.
Is that what I'm going to be doing?
You're going to draw for another one of the prints from the bird hop.
Firing up my cleanness.
Yeah, that's what John's going to do. Okay, and I'm going to dry this, okay?
All right, you're muted. All right, we're back. Wait, no, I'm back. You're not. Here we go. All right, so we got to get the other length. Clear this one. I brought it up to enough to go through the whole rigmarole. This is for the finch. Rainbow finch on a branch. So creative with the names, aren't we? Paste that in there. Slide down a bit. No duplicates, replies, and bird hop. We can't stress enough that you have to put in hashtag whatever the secret word is to participate in these little giveaways.
So you can turn my sound back on? Yes?
I did my queenness.
And who won? Are we still deciding who won?
We are. We have 128 in this group. And
ooh, you guys, you were just really, that's so good.
And the winner is Gail Feher, I think. Feher.
Ooh.
She is the winner of the print of the finch, rainbow finch.
Okay.
Go ahead and bring you back my cleanness.
All right, back. So I've got a little brush, and I was just sort of going around the cherries here with a little bit of tiny brush here, just just going in between here. Just there we go. Okay, so I don't want to lose that nice watercolor effect on the background, and I want to keep working on my basket. I've got a little bit of burnt sienna. And we're also going to be drawing for today. We're going to be drawing. Last week we asked you to whether or not you those of you who played with the bird hop, whether or not you found it helpful. What was our question? Yeah, for the breaks, if you thought a break would be helpful, something like that.
Yeah.
And then we did the thing. So we have, we asked for last Monday's show.
Which we'll be drawing for that after we do the bird hops.
We'll be drawing for that after the bird hops. Just using a little watercolor brush here to put in the little bits of outline of the basket here, and it's got a little bit of just a kind of little, and it's still, you see, it's still acting very much like you would expect a watercolor. Okay, and come around here like that. There's our basket, and let's come on down here a little bit more, and I want the bottom of this basket to be, now this is that, because I've dried it, here's the trick, because I've dried it, I can go over this, and I'm okay. Just going to take that like that. And then this is where it gets kind of fun. You're going to take some light color here, just a little bit of white. You can't do this if it's wet. Let's see, a little bit of yellow, I think, here, maybe. Less white, more yellow. There we go. That's showing up nicely. Just a few of these little light highlights with the basket. There we go. Let's just do a little yellow and white. Let's just do
Looks
that.
like the moderators are okay with we'll give the watercolor a try. The watercolor is permitted in, they have to be of Ginger's tutorials, either YouTube or Academy, and you can post them in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Talk for a second, boss.
I'm talking for shy. I haven't said anything.
Your mic is down low today.
Is it?
Is it facing the right way? Is it facing?
I give up. Is it facing the right way?
Talk again.
I'm going to talk again.
One more.
Talking again.
Huh. We just seem to be a little quiet today. Well, it's a long weekend. What can I say? I turned them up. We'll see what happens.
And there's a little bit of this basket weave in here like that. It's on the inside of this little basket. And then we've got something pretty bright. There's a little bit of a cherry showing up here. Okay. And there we go. So to see, I think this is fun. I don't know. You guys think it's fun, but I think it's kind of neat how it works, because it's just a totally different effect. And I'm going to put some more dark shadows back here.
Well, it doesn't look like your traditional acrylic paint.
It doesn't look like no, it does not. And yet there's just something about it that's sort of, it's like definitely different, right? Like, for instance, I want the dark up here like this, and on this end, and then this is going to be a little darker on my cherry. Let's see. Let's take a little bit of that pink. And again, you can layer over it. And let's see, a little bit of yellow and red. Let's do a little orange here.
What does absorbent ground look like?
Looks like mud.
It's a white mud. It's a white sandy, basically.
Kind of looks like mud, doesn't it?
No, it's not. No, it's white, not mud.
No. I really want that orange color that oh, here it is.
You can see you had it out the other day.
Cadmium orange, and I like it. This color. Let's put a little of that out. Sometimes you want something a little brighter. Let's see if I can.
Now remember, this painting is available on the auction, gingercookauction.com. That ends on Wednesday. We had some bids on it.
Yeah, sight unseen, we had some bids on it. Somebody thought, well, you know what?
The Queen will come up with
she
something.
doesn't screw up stuff too much. Maybe it'll be okay, right? So we thank you for that.
Hey, we'd like to thank Dawes Fine Art for the donation that came in through the PayPal system. Really appreciate that. We also got one from Michael. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Michael. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of this purple and do a couple little dark shadows at the bottom of these and under here like that. Just do a little bit of dark, and I want to make sure I've got some purple up here and a little bit more purpley, kind of magenta color over here.
What is the texture of the unpainted absorbent ground canvas when dry? It is white and it feels sandy, like a watercolor paper.
Yeah, it does.
A fine tooth watercolor paper.
Yeah.
But it's very sandy feeling. Did the camera get turned off? Your hands will come on. No. I haven't seen it go flipping off. Anybody else having a camera problem?
Camera shouldn't be turned off, right?
No, I'm seeing it and broadcasting, so.
Yeah. You know, did you guys, John, tell them about the little button that little gear. A lot of people don't know there's a little gear there that can define how you watch something. So if you're having bad signals, you can change a setting on your YouTube channel for the videos. It's kind of interesting, right? You can do a little bit.
You can change the resolution so you make sure you get it, or you can change this playback speed.
Yeah.
You can slow it down or speed her up. Oh, just a different angle. Well, when I do the sideways one, like that one, that's when her hand gets in the way from the other side.
Yeah, because yeah, that's it.
I do it just to torment you guys. It's my job. Hey, Lisa, thank you very much for the donation came in through Super Chat. And how's it going? That's her little guy. The little Super Chat guy.
Thank you very much. I'm going to put a little orange down here now in the basket. Add another layer of colors, which I mean, it still looks like a watercolor, doesn't it? In a funny sort of way, even though we're not painting it the way you would normally do a watercolor.
You have the power of acrylic with a watercolor effect. Ooh.
You do, too.
That's a good promo for acrylic, isn't it?
Yeah. You do. You have the power of acrylics with the watercolor effect, and that can be kind of nice. And if you like if you lose your light, you can put it back, right? And that can be kind of helpful, I think. So here's some yellow and white, and that's just titanium white here we're putting out. Now, there is something to be said for drawing, because it's still absorbing a little bit. Still absorbing a little bit of this paint, okay? But so that's one of the things you've got to think about too, is that, where's the where's the absorbent coming from? Let's see, this is coming up like this. This is part of the basket.
Do you sand the absorbent ground? No. If you applied it smoothly, you don't need to sand it.
No, right?
No. I'm not sure what it would do. I'm not sure if it would block the pores or not. I'm not sure. I would have to play with one and see what would happen to it.
Yes.
It is not necessary to sand it, though. Applied correctly, you don't need to sand it.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do now is just that as it's drying, I want to see how it dries. I want to show you something that just take a minute to show you a few things. John, I want to draw for the people that commented last week.
I still have one more birdie to do.
Oh, you have one more birdie? Well, why don't you do one more birdie and let me dry this one more time, okay?
Okay, one more birdie and you drawing. All right, we're going to do one more birdie. Last birdie. Turn it over. And this is for the robin. After that. So this will be for the print of the rainbow robin the Ginger did. And the queen is back with us. We'll get the comments. And we have 123 on that one. And the winner of that one is... Scroll. Fly through. Candy Simchik. And let's bring the queen back.
Oh, congratulations, Candy. Cinnamon almost got named Candy.
But she didn't. She got Cinnamon instead.
Yeah. And I had a girlfriend in college. Her name was Sugar. Sugar Frew. Remember her friend? Sugar Frew. And her sisters were named Candy, and they were all named Candy things.
So this was to Robin.
You wonder how much of that stuff is, you're influenced by, don't you? Ever? Maybe not. Yes, maybe a little. How much you're influenced by? Did you wonder, right?
Yep.
Okay, so here's a little cad red light. Yeah, maybe right there.
How thick do you apply the ground? Paper thin. That's why you do 3 to 4 coats. really, really, really thin. Another reason why you don't need to sand it.
Just a couple of these, I'm just kind of lightening up a bit. Now, so there's a little bit of a, like just like in there like that. There's a little bit in these like this. A little bit of
red on the edge.
Yeah, a little bit of red on the edge, and then let's start putting in a few highlights.
So next one we want it from the shutters.
And here's a little bit of white highlight on this one.
Okay. Let's see. Can you use regular paintbrush or will it ruin it? You can use a regular paintbrush. It does not ruin it. I'm going to apply the absorbent ground. Can you use, let's see, John, is it thick like a heavy body paint or thin like a liquid paint? It is thick. And you need to water it down a little bit, 10% or 20%. So you have to apply a little bit of water to it, mix up a little bit when I do it. Once you have a couple of coats of the acrylic on it, is it still absorbent? To a degree.
It's still not as much. You can see I've got a few, it's not as absorbing of this white now, is it, than it was before. But for instance, I can come back in here. For instance, what I like about it is I can, like for instance, if I want to widen this area right here where this handle is, I can come back and I can narrow that or widen it. Or if I didn't like this, I can kind of do a little painting over it if I needed to do something. So I like it because it's more, to me, it's much more forgiving. And just put a little bit of light back in here like this. So you've got a
well, like I said, even when we're trying to put the varnish on, it absorbs right into it. It's going to take probably 3 layers just to seal it, so I can get the varnish to stick to, sit on it.
Yeah, and so you've got, if you think, so you've got let's kind of make that a little
It's
bit.
interesting stuff.
It is interesting stuff. It is interesting stuff because, there's a the lightest light, your brightest reds are always over white. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if for instance, let's say I wanted a really bright red back there. Let me just show you real quick. Okay. So let's just find out where I want a really bright red. Where do I want a bright red? Let's say I want a bright red right here. Okay. So if I take, let me just use a brush that doesn't have any water on it. If I take white paint right here. Okay. Okay. And put some white paint. Okay. Let's just say for the sake of argument, I want this really brighter right there, right? Okay. And I'm going to dry that real quick. John's, have you drawn for everybody?
I've done all the birdies.
All right, John's going to draw for,
while
I dry that bit, John's going to draw for these. This is the downloadable lessons. This one is right here. You want to back it out a little bit, and I'm going to dry that in a second, right, to show people.
Yeah.
Here's our Cherokee Roses, originally by Martin Head, an artist in the late 1800s, lived in Florida, American artist. And this is Cherokee Roses on gold velvet. We also have this is a tutorial in the Academy. The Cherokee Roses on blue, our Magnolias on blue velvet, both originally done by Martin Head. You have your choice of either one of those. And John's, we're going to be doing 2 drawings for these.
Two people
will win downloadable lessons.
Gotcha,
okay?
boss.
So,
all right, so
I'm drawing this, right?
Yep. All right, we got her quieted down. Let me go back to my browser window for you. So now we're going to be drawing for this one. This is our Tuscan shutter, and the hashtag was for shutter in this one. So let's bring over the YouTube. So we got the doubles, the comments work. Hashtag SHUTTER is how I spelled it. Get the comments on this.
Me back on.
Yep. Have 133 for this one.
Oh, wow, you guys. All right. You got everybody kind of ran out of gas by the time we got to that one, right? But all right, these are limited edition signed original prints. They're being produced by John Cooney and Cinnamon up there in their studio up in Pennsylvania. And the highest quality paper. The prints are being sent to us. We'll sign them with the certificates and send them back. And then they'll be mailed out, or maybe we'll probably mail those out from you. Oh, yeah. We'll probably mail those out here.
No, that was on the previous 3 drawings.
Yeah,
that's not this drawing. This drawing is for the downloadable, and Daniela Miller is the first winner of that.
Oh, okay, it's a new name. Where's she from?
How would I know?
We don't know.
No, it's not done that way anymore.
We've not done that way. We don't know where you're from. Maybe we should ask that. People to tell us where they're from.
I guess when they write in, we could ask.
Yeah, I just like to know. Don't you guys kind of like to know where people are from? I do. And then, so you're drawing for one more?
Yes, I have to save this one.
Okay, that's kind of interesting. And why would you want a downloadable print? Well, a downloadable lesson. Why would you want a downloadable lesson? Well, a lot of times maybe you want to travel, and you don't want to have internet. You don't have to have internet to watch that. It's just on your computer. And the other great thing about it is that most of the Academy lessons are also available for sale as downloadable lessons in our store, Acrylic Painting with gingercook.com. Most of our lessons you can purchase anywhere from, I think, $10 to like $150, depending on the length of the lesson, how complicated the tutorials are. But it's really, you kind of start collecting your own favorites. Maybe there's some tips in a lesson that you just want to keep forever. So it's kind of nice, right?
Okay, the second winner is Penny Newcomer.
Oh, hey, congratulations, Penny. Great job. And thanks for entering our comment drawing. We appreciate you guys doing that. So super nice. Nice. So Penny, we don't know where she's from, but if she's around, she could tell us in the chat. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and finish painting this cherry that I painted. I want to show you that you can lighten up the color over white just by using a little Cad Red medium. And I want you to see how bright that goes when you do that. See? So it's a slightly brighter color when you paint over white. So if you feel like you've lost something and you needed something a little bit lighter, that's one thing you can do. I want a little bit of a shadow down in here. I'm going to put a little bit more of a shadow on this side of that. Okay, so that's quite cool. Let's see, we're going to take a little bit of zinc white here, a little yellow, just a little bit of yellow in the inside of this area right there. There you go. So some of these are where the stems are coming out of.
Can you use absorbent ground over a previously painted acrylic like gessoing over? It says it goes directly on a gesso surface, according to the directions. So I would be hesitant on putting it on top of acrylic.
That's something. Those are the kinds of things you would want to ask Golden.
Yeah, you'd have to ask Golden that one to know for sure. My thought is probably not, because it needs to absorb into, like, the gesso is a very absorbent surface too.
Yeah.
And I think it needs to bind to that. It can't bind to acrylic. But I would ask them if that's something you'd want to do. I would shoot an email off to Golden. They're very responsive, and I'm sure they would let you know.
Yep, they will. Oh, and again, we hope you guys. The reason we switched to these kind of contests, okay, is because we wanted everyone to have a chance to participate. Some people felt like they were getting kind of left out, Because
we are an international group, and a lot of the people cannot join us at this particular hour. So we thought this would be a little fairer to everybody.
And you can go back. Look, see, even though this is, we can go back and reshape a cherry if I need to, right? Which is kind of neat when you think about it, yeah? Go back and reshape a cherry. I can add a little bit of color in here like that. And so you can go back over it a little bit, which is kind of neat, right? I'm just going to put some little bit of, where's that fun purple color we had? A little bit of blue and magenta. It's kind of a nice purple color. So if I wanted a little bit darker right under here, maybe, and go back and do my shadow. So I would say the biggest thing about this for us is how forgiving this is. Don't you think, John?
It is. You have to get used to it. Jenny would like to know, would Absorbent Ground be good for portraits?
I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
I think it'd be hard to. It'd be a challenge.
Yeah, I would.
I think, Jenny, you should try it and let us know.
Yeah, I wouldn't personally do them, but that's just me. Okay, so now I'm kind of doing the white highlights on the fruit here. And I want to take I want to have some stems. So let's see, where do I want this? I know I've got a dark stem, right? The center of this is kind of dark right in here like that. Where that stem's going. Now I'm going to add a little bit of purple. Just a little bit of purple to this. To have, because remember, we already have a photograph. So now you're talking about getting a little arty on us, right? Getting a little purple maybe in here in a couple places. And this little purple around here like that. Maybe a little purple. And purple with a little white can also act as a highlight. You don't think of that, but it can, and so can this little pink color area too. This could be like a little highlight. I think I want white here. I'm sure. Here, how about a little. Oh no, we want more pink in that. Here we go. All right, so here's like a little light pink highlight. You can do that. Maybe a little bit of light.
We have a lot of new viewers with us this evening, so to play in our drawing, some of you are asking, we asked a question, and the question for this particular video is, what do you think of Absorbent Ground, and do you think you will ever use it? And the hashtag is Cherries. So make sure when you leave a comment after the show, not in the live feed, not in this conversation here, it has to be a comment after the video has posted, with the hashtag Cherries to have a chance in the drawing. And we'd love to hear your opinion of Absorbent Ground.
Yeah, so you see, you can just, it is very, to me, it's really cool the way it works. And
we'll have to get some more.
Yeah, we've done a little bit of this. I haven't done a lot of it because, not everybody can get this in every country. If you can't get golden products,
you gotta be ready for it.
You have to let's see, I'm gonna just do a little bit of light right here on these two. Want more light on the top of my candle here, see? So I've got a little bit of a let's see, let's just curve that. I love that because you can just come in and you can do it just like regular acrylics. You can dry brush, you can dry brush, all that stuff that you would normally do. You see how we're starting to get our cherries are starting to look shinier now? See how I can dry brush over a little few of these highlights?
They're looking very cherry.
They're looking very cherry now, right? And you can take a little bit of like zinc white here. And that's your transparent white, in case you guys were wondering. Zinc white's your transparent white. You can start layering. Here's a little bit of I want a little bit of a white line right there. If I keep a little of this light going in here, now here's a kind of a, can I have different colored highlights? You see that? Some are lighter than others. You can almost do like a blue highlight too. That's an interesting thing. People don't think of, maybe ultramarine blue would be better because it's more purpley. But if you do like a little blue highlight, get in the habit of wiping your brush off, particularly if you're using your brush to mix paints like you see me do, and you want to wipe it off. But like here's a, you've got a little bit of a blue highlight, maybe somewhere. There. So, you don't want to overdo it. Now I want to put my stems in. I'll let that dry for a second. I haven't had a chance. We didn't get a chance to show you guys what we're painting in their academy for this week. So this week, and if you missed this last week, the Academy of Fine Art and Acrylic Painting or Acrylic Painting with Ginger Cook, we have very basic beginner lessons, and we have over 500 lessons. Everything from you've never seen a paintbrush in your life to you've been painting for a while and want to get challenged. And this is our challenging box of cookie piece. It's called Garden of Swans. And that was it's released now. It's available on acrylicpaintingwithgingercook.com. It's on our website. And it's a 16 by 20 step-by-step tutorial. A lot of hours, like about 14 chapters, 5.5 hours, right?
Yeah, about 6 hours.
About 6 hours of painting this, right? We have that one. And then for those of you who want a little variety, releasing it toward the weekend.
Sometime this week.
Yeah, is from one of our artists in the past, and this goes with The Lady in the Veil. So some of you asked about that. That will be released
this week.
This coming week. Yeah. So I'm going to just show you that. All right. And this is fun. I hope everybody's enjoying the enjoying
You want to let those dry a little bit. How about showing some of the current auction pieces?
Yeah, let me just show you the current auction pieces because we did the marathon. I'm quite proud of what we did. The auction closes. It's a pretty close auction. Now look, this was the horse that was painted with Absorbent Ground, and you see how that was, right? Isn't that pretty? And that's people have been very fond of that. And I want to take the there's a couple of ways. These are like 6 by 8 canvases, but I want to show you how. Let's see. I want to get some landscapes going here. How nice if you get a bigger frame, like see how pretty they are. This is our Adirondacks chair. We had that one, which I think is really lovely. We've got hydrangea garden.
I like that one.
Is,
with the arch. Look at the arch in that thing.
And all the layers down. When you watch go back and watch this tutorial on this, what we did Friday, we started with just a almost black, dark brown arch, and then went from there. You see, totally different than we're doing today. And then here's our flowering red maple by the river, which is I think kind of cool.
Yeah, we moved that to a river. It
Yeah,
wasn't by a river originally.
Well, it could be by a river, right?
Well, it is now.
By a river, yeah. And then I like our sunset in France, and the lavender field in the sunset. I think that's really nice. And for those of you who are feeling the fall, even though it's August, the fall's coming for some people. Kids are going back to school. This was the Canadian Rockies. This was in the fall. This was fall. This was one that had had a lot of people really appreciated that. And the same with this one. I think they kind of go together. This little church and the fall trees, kind of looking out at on a foggy day. And who doesn't want to go to France, into Provence, and see the olive grove? Take you back there a little bit. And let's see. And then this, I really encourage you to watch the Friday's tutorials, because this one was done completely different, with lots of texture. And we did the texture before we ever did the painting, which is a really It's an interesting way to paint something. And then you could really layer it. This is our garlic. So I'll move some of these out. You can see that. And we've got our kind of misty mountains right there in the winter. And I love all the colors in here that are coming through here like this. And again, very different. And then who doesn't like cowboy kids? You know, our little cowboy and cowgirl. And we just thought this was really fun. And we talked a lot about how to paint children. And particularly if you guys are selling your artwork, if you paint children, they all are kind of similar at a young age, 5, 6, 7. From behind, they all look kind of the same. You change the hair in anybody's kid, and if you want to, you're much more likely to have a good sale if they're from behind, because it might remind someone of their grandchild, or you can put your grandchild in by changing the hair. And this was one I was particularly fond of. These red barn in the snow with the frozen stream, and this. Again, is your traditional acrylic technique of, you know, layering and painting and so forth. And then finally, we've got our calm stream in the fall, your quiet stream in the fall. It's just sort of, wouldn't that be a nice backyard? I think I like to paint the backyards I don't have. Yeah. John and I travel a lot. We don't do a lot of flowers or anything because somebody has to water them and take care of them. We don't do that. So if you have gingercookauction.com, you want to own a piece of the legacy, we invite you to do that. And I'm going to go ahead and finish this painting now. I'll show you what we're going to add to the, going to add our stems. And if you have one of these angle brushes, I don't have any stake in the company, but these newest ones, Andrew, if you haven't tried these yet, these silver Bristol-on angle brushes are even more effective than the ruby satin silver angles, short handle. They really are effective. So what I want to do here is put paint on both sides of my brush, going to tap it off, and I'm going to go ahead and put in my stems. I'm going to come this way. Just hold it. Look at where I'm holding it. Kind of bracing my finger here. Do you see that? Can you guys see how I'm doing that? Bracing my finger. And I know I'm going to curve it around like this. So I'm going to pull my arm back as I move. As I twist the brush like this, then I move my arm back, right? And I'm going to paint just with the toe of the brush.
Wow.
Huh?
I should be so steady.
Okay, then we'll reload. We've got one coming up. We just turn it. 3, it's easier when I'm doing a line like this. It's easier to pull it toward me, you know, than it is to, harder you push, the fatter the line. If you let up pressure, it's thinner. But then, of course, you know, with cherries, there's always that little thick thing at the end there, on their stems, right?
It would be where it's attached to the glue.
And then you've got one coming this way. It's kind of coming up like this. Okay. And then we could even add some color to these as long as we're going, because they're green. We could certainly put a little color in those. Let's put a little bit more yellow. They're really more yellow. Again, I want more yellow, so I had too much green on the brush. So no yellow is happening. Let's do a little combination of yellow here. Works out really well though, don't you guys think? And then I want this one came up over here like that. And this one came this way. on this way. There you go. And then we had, we didn't have, I think we had something coming out of here with this one. Just kind of went that way. All right. So that was easy, right?
You make it look so easy.
Just a few little more details on that, but when you we think about our cherries now, we've got, and to keep that watercolor effect, all right, that I want, I've got the dark, I know I've got some dark back in here. I want a little bit of red, kind of suggest another cherry right there. Just kind of peeking all by himself, just all by himself, you know, and I want you a little redder. Remember, you can still add, don't you love it that you can still add highlights? You can just go back with a few little highlights here and there, and still have that feeling of it looking like it's a watercolor. So, but of course it isn't. And even with this one right here, like for instance this cherry right here, if I want it to go more down this way to the bottom here like that, I can paint over that with a little white, and the see, I can add a little white color to that, and you can, which you really can't, if you get kind of it off on when you're doing watercolor, okay, you can't really fix it as easily. You can kind of do it, but you really can't. But here you can, here you've got all the best of all the worlds here. You've got the best of acrylics, okay, and you've got the best of what you think about when you think about watercolor. Yes and yes. Let's just put a little highlight here because I've got a little cheat sheet here around here like that. Where's my white? Zinc white makes the easiest one. I'm just going to do it like that. Okay, so I don't want to overdo it. So let's get our frame out and I'll show you what this looks like.
Wait.
Then John's going to back up a minute.
You need, you have a smiley face on the one in the front, so he's still white of your stem.
This one?
That stem is white. All the other ones are yellowed down.
Okay, I'll fix it. I'll put him in the frame.
Okay.
I will fix it.
Of course you'll fix it in the frame with the paint all over my frame.
Yeah, I'm going to put it in the frame and I'm going to fix it. Let's see. I want that Bristol brush gives me such a good feel to it.
It's sharp. So, razor sharp.
Yeah. Phew. Whew. Oh, and I know one of the things I wanted to do with this, which I felt it needed, but was to put a little bit of this gold color. See, right up in front like that.
I like that.
See, just you don't need much. And just a little bit of that gold color right there gave it that nice, kind of brought that in a little bit stronger. And there, I like that. And just the same thing here with the I don't think I want to do anything else to the background. I like our basket. I feel like we've had some real success with this basket. Put some of our lights back in the basket, so it kind of looks very watercolory. And there you go, you guys. What do you think?
I think you got a winner.
So again, different ways to express artwork. There's so many different ways to paint things, and for some of you, you may find that absorbent. If you started off as a watercolor artist, for a lot of you, started water and you've been doing acrylics for a while, you're going to find this very easy to combine both. You'll try to take the best of both worlds on that, right? And I want a little bit of white here. Right there. There we go. That's it. There. Ah. That's what I wanted, right?
And again, that will be photographed and added to our auction site as soon as it dries.
Yeah, as soon as it dries, we got a little bit of light there, and I hope that this was something that when you looked at this, you're going, I get it, I understand exactly how we're painting that now. And thanks to I have new Posca pens. Oh, that was who was that, John? My Posca pens?
PJ.
PJ, I thought PJ.
Hey, PJ, your money went to good use.
We got John got them.
Thanks for the donation.
There you go. Why do we like Posca pens so much? Because want to see why? Because I'm going to take that and I can erase it. And I can write over here because I don't like it there. See, that's what, I love it. And then if you were having trouble with a little bit of the white here, and you wanted a little bit of, look because it's a brighter white than really your paint even. So if you want a little highlight somewhere, like on your cherry, you can add it. It's really interesting. You've got, you can add a little bit of white somewhere, and it's just even more of a effect here. What's the sign? The reason why did I put my signature over here?
Yeah, why?
Because you're coming in this way, and then I wanted you to see it before it went around, right?
Hey, we'd like to thank Catherine for the donation that came in through PayPal. And Joan as well. Thank you very much. And we have one more.
Oh, you guys.
And Anna Maria, thank you very much for your donation.
Thank you very, very much for that. And I'm going to go ahead and put my red splash through my name.
Oh, that means it's done.
That's done. I think it's done, you guys. Don't you think we have something a lot more interesting than just that?
Yeah. We have a piece of art now.
Do we have a piece of art?
We have a piece of art.
So we hope you enjoyed it. We encourage you to subscribe to our channel. Come on over. If you want the traceables for this, become a basic supporter on our website, Acrylic Painting with Ginger Cook. It gives you all the traceables up from 2020 and up, and gives you access to all the different wonderful, YouTube videos. And if you watch our videos on our website, you really don't even have ads, do you, John, or hardly any?
No, we don't have ads on our website.
You don't have ads on our website. If you like
not that I know of.
No, we don't think you do. That's at least our feeling is that if you watch it right on YouTube, you're going to run into ads when it's over. But if you watch it on, you watch the same video from our YouTube, or from a YouTube video from our Academy Acrylic Painting with Ginger Cook website, we have discovered that there's just if there's ads, there are hardly any, right?
If there's any. I don't think there's any.
Any at all.
And eventually there won't be, because we'll be pulling them off of there and bringing them just over to our site.
So thanks very much, you guys, for all you do. And we will see you next week. Ha! Which is happy art hugs from John and I. Ha ha! Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Hi, you guys. Do you know the #1 reason that people are afraid to learn to paint is because there's a universal myth that in order to learn to paint, you must be born with some sort of talent. And if you don't have that, you couldn't possibly learn it. My name is Ginger Cook, and as an art instructor and professional acrylic artist for over 40 years, I can promise you that learning to paint is a skill. Learning to painting is a language, just like French or English or Italian, and it's absolutely learnable. I have an online art academy of a fine art and acrylic painting, and in that academy, we take new artists, beginning artists, step by step, from never touching a paintbrush to becoming an accomplished artist. And we do that by publishing 4 new videos every month. And also, this is added to our collection of over 400 tutorials already in our ever-expanding library from beginner to advanced acrylic subjects. So, what I would invite you to do is to let me be the key to help you unlock your inner artist, help you find the skills needed to become the artist you've always wanted to be, because we know that acrylic painting should be easy and fun and affordable. So if you think that's something that would just be something you would absolutely love to do, then click on the link.